Welcome back to the Weber Kettle series brought to you by Fogo Charcoal here on Chuds BBQ, everybody. My name is Bradley Robinson, and today we're making up an absolutely fantastic grilled chicken parm. Coming up! These are some chicken breasts. Pat them dry. Just some average chicken boobs from the grocery store. Nothing fancy here, folks. Boneless, skinless, tender has been removed. And now what we need to do is butterfly this out because it's really uneven. It's thick on one end, thin on the other, thick over here, thin over here. So by butterflying it, we're gonna achieve even thickness and a wider surface area. So starting on the thick end, I'm just gonna take my knife here and just start cutting. We wanna cut almost all the way through so we can then open it up and we've got a beautiful looking butterfly chicken breast. At this point, you can get yourself a little meat mallet like this or a small saucepan or anything you got and just start pounding it just to help flatten it even more. And if I was gonna be doing a traditional chicken parm, I would go much thinner than this, but because we're grilling this off, I still wanna have some meat to it so it doesn't completely burn up. So that is looking pretty good to me. Not much to it, folks. You don't wanna hit this too hard because you can start to break and fray the edges. Beautiful, same thickness all the way across. And to season these up, I'm gonna go on with some kosher salt, both sides, as well as some 16 mesh black pepper, some granulated garlic, some oregano, and a pinch of some red chili flakes. And I've seen a lot of recipes where people don't season their chicken breast and just kind of rely on the sauce and the cheese to do all the flavoring for them, but I think that works a little bit better when you're frying this because you can season the flour and the breadcrumbs. I'm also gonna hit these with a little bit of some olive oil. Add some flavor and it's gonna help with the grilling process a little later on. Yeah, beautiful. Now into the fridge this goes to let that salt start to do its thing. Next up, let's make sauce, starting with some pancetta. And we're just gonna cube this up. And if you've never heard of pancetta before, this is essentially Italian bacon. And if you can't find it, regular bacon will work just fine. Gotta say, that's some beautiful looking stuff. But like I said, we're just gonna cube this up into nice little 1/4-inch cubes. And not all chicken parm recipes call for pancetta or bacon, but you know what? This is a meat-centric show, so I think we're gonna have to include it. And might as well go with a lot, am I right? Beautiful. Into the pan we go, as well as a little drizzle of some olive oil. And we're just gonna let these cook down until they are nice and crispy. Once they're starting to look crispy, but not quite there yet, we'll go in with some onion and let that get nice and soft. And once our onions are looking nice and translucent and our bacon is looking nice and crispy, we're gonna go in with a couple of cloves of very thinly sliced garlic. And these are gonna take just a few seconds to cook and get nice and toasty. This smells absolutely fantastic, folks, gotta say. And also to add some more depth to our sauce, at this point we're gonna go in with a couple of squirts of some tomato paste that we're just gonna let fry up for about a minute or two. Kind of take that raw edge off of it a little bit. And then right as you're starting to worry about your tomato paste and your garlic starting to burn, we're gonna go in with 1 can of San Marzano tomatoes. These are the whole tomatoes, but you could easily use crushed or whatever you can find. And we're just gonna get these nice and mixed in, kind of breaking them up with a spoon a little bit. Once up to a simmer, we can go in with the rest of our ingredients, which includes some dry oregano, a pinch of some red chili flakes, and a bouquet garni, which is a fancy way of saying some fresh thyme and fresh basil that are tied together with a little piece of string, so we can pull them out so we don't have a bunch of woody stems and leaves in our final sauce. And now we're gonna let this simmer away for the next 15-20 minutes, and we'll check back in. And just like that, after about 30 minutes, our sauce is done and looking beautiful, I must say. About halfway through, this is starting to look a little dry, so I added about a cup of water, which really helped out the texture. And then I took my emulsion blender and I gave it just a couple of quick pulses. That's mostly to break up the pancetta and any stubborn pieces of chunky tomato. But at the end, all the oil and the tomato have come together and we've got a beautiful sauce that smells absolutely heavenly. So to finish it off, we're gonna pull out our herbs. Looks like that contained most of the stems. And then we're gonna top it off with a little bit of Parmigiano Reggiano, cause why not? Get that all nice and mixed up. And the reason I didn't add that earlier is because I was kind of worried about it sinking to the bottom and burning. And just like that, our beautiful sauce is done. Let's give it a taste real quick. Oh, that is phenomenal. Nice and meaty. A lot of pancetta in there. Not mad about it. It's also at this stage you could add some sugar. A lot of recipes call for that, but I don't think it needs it. This is a nice, savory, tomatoey sauce. So, set this aside to keep warm while we fire up the pit. While While we wait for that chimney to light up, let's talk about cheese. Now, according to my research, the cheese of choice for chicken parmesan is Polio whole milk, low moisture mozzarella. But after going to 3 different grocery stores, I couldn't find it. But at my 3rd stop, I did find some of this. Boom. Polio whole milk mozzarella that's been smoked. And I think that's gonna work out perfectly. Let's shred this up. Beautiful stuff. Nice smoky color on there. And I'm really glad I didn't have to smoke this myself. Going through the standard cheese shredding size hole on this box grater here. Oh, that is lovely. Good stuff. Not today, Mr. Box Grater. You're not taking any fingernails today. Beautiful. And into our bowl here, we're also gonna go in with some Parmesan, because that is why it's called chicken Parmesan. It's not true at all, but let's see how many people yell at me about that in the comments. Oh yeah, get that nice and mixed up. Beautiful. Rocking a super simple setup on our Weber kettle today. No baffles, water pans, drip pans, anything fancy like that. Just some charcoal on the charcoal grate, the way Weber intended it back in 1951. And now, simply enough, just gonna grill these off. Beautiful. A little worried about this guy falling apart, but maybe I'll just make 2 small ones out of it. Really not much to do here, folks. Although, since we're going classic grill on this thing, maybe I'll give these the old quarter turn. Get those dad grill marks going. And these are real thin, so we don't want to go too far. Keep an eye on them. It's gonna be a real quick cook. Perfect for the weeknight dinner. Now, when thinking about this recipe, I was really close to doing a whole panko situation, cooking them hot and fast offset. But then I thought about it, and I've never really seen anyone do a grilled chicken parm, and it seems like a pretty obvious thing to do. Still get some good flavors, cooks up real quick and easy. And you know, chicken breasts are pretty boring, so I figure if we cover them with a beautiful pancetta-filled sauce and top them with cheese, probably the most exciting thing you can do with a chicken breast, unless you're a rooster. Very nice. It's been about 4 minutes at this point. These things are almost done. Love it. Little guy, done first. Looking good. Coming off in the thick part, this is right around 145, 150, which is ideal because we're gonna finish these off once we put the cheese on. Onto the sheet tray they go, and we're gonna top these off with a lovely healthy portion of our beautiful sauce. I've been eating spoonfuls of this thing for the last little bit because it is very tasty stuff. Ooh, looking good. And now for our cheese. First, I'm gonna go on with some fresh mozzarella. That's just gonna give us that nice creaminess and that wonderful stringy cheese pull. And then we're gonna top that with a generous amount of our low moisture smoked mozzarella and our Parmesan mixture. Oh yes, please. Because what doesn't sound good about that? Because I like it cheesy. Ooh, that's a lot of cheese. Oh yeah, love it. Back on the pit we go. Beautiful. And with our lid on, this side is rocking right around 400 degrees, which should be good enough to get that cheese nice and melty. All right, it's been about 10 minutes. Let's look at these. Ooh, nice and melty, nice and gooey. But I think to get that classic chicken parm look, we're gonna have to give it a little bit of help. Oh, there we go. Who needs a broiler when you got a torch, am I right? Looking good to me. Ooh, cheese pull confirmed. You know, I was gonna plate this up, but I'm more of an eat off the cutting board kind of guy. Looking beautiful, gotta say. Looking nice and cheesy. And for a little garnish, we'll top it with some freshly chopped fresh basil and some fresh parsley as well, just because I have some on hand. And there we go, folks. The grilled chicken parm is done. Oh, look at that cheese pull. I mean, what's not to like about that? All right, let's dive in. This is one of the better smelling days we've had on the old Chud set, folks. Beautifully cooked chicken, nice amount of sauce, nice cheese. That is phenomenal. So good. That sauce is incredible, perfectly seasoned. Cheese is nice and stringy. It's so good. I lost my fork. Unbelievable. That was a hot one. That is the best tomato sauce I've ever made. Just goes to show you, when you add extra bacon to stuff, it always comes out great. Pancetta, sorry. You know, I really thought I'd be missing the crunch from a traditional chicken Parmesan, but this is perfectly fine without it. Oh, it's so good. The sauce has got so much flavor, and because I only pulsed it, I didn't fully blend it. It's still got nice big chunks of pancetta in there. Very tasty stuff. And the charcoal flavor is just a very nice addition to all this mozzarella. Chicken breast, nice and juicy. All the herbs are coming through real nice. And of course, all this beautiful cheese. And I don't feel that bad about eating it. You know, usually when I'm eating a chicken parm, that's a lot of cheese, it's a lot of sauce, and it's deep fried. So this one's technically slightly healthier. Or it would have been if I didn't add all that pancetta. It's so good. So good. Y'all definitely got to give this a try, folks. I'm telling you. This is definitely going to stick around for a weeknight dinner. If you just bought yourself some chicken cutlets and made a big batch of this sauce in your fridge, this would come together so quickly. I really don't understand why you don't see this more often. I know it sounds boring to grill something that's traditionally deep fried, but it's a totally different experience. And it's so worth it. It's also amazing how well balanced everything is, flavor-wise. You know, that sauce is so packed with flavor that it really makes up for the blandness of chicken breast and honestly mozzarella. Very good stuff. But I think we all know what time it is. All right, y'all, and that is it. That is how to make some absolutely fantastic grilled chicken parm. I highly recommend giving this one a try. There's something about that grilled chicken flavor that mixes with that robust sauce and all that cheese that really turns out something that's greater than the sum of its parts, and I highly recommend it. But that being said, if you enjoyed this video, let me know by hitting that subscribe button. Let YouTube know by dropping a like on this video. If you give this recipe a try for yourself, be sure to tag me on Instagram at Chuds BBQ. I love to see what y'all are cooking. Feel free to drop a comment down below letting me know what you want to see me cook next. Big shout out to all the Patreon members. Thank you for supporting Team Chud and allowing me to keep making all these videos. And until the next time I see you, please go cook something outside. Peace.